Hello, this is Pat from Samuel's Public Library. This week in Science Scouts, we're going to learn about pendulums, what those are, why they move, and we're going to learn how to make art outside with those. So our story this week is called Monster Park by Alice Bach. Monster play, monster. Monster Park, come on this way. So what kind of things are in the park that go round and round? Monster swing goes back and forth, right? Monster ring. Monster wants to try this thing. Okay, so this goes back and forth, and this goes round and round. Lots of things in the park, right? Monster swirl, monster twirl, monster stop, the whirly whirl. Look at his eyes. What could you do outside? Monster ride, monster hide, monster climbs the tallest slide. Pretty big slide. Monster wee, crash, boom, monster knee. Monster really needs Daddy. He got hurt, didn't he? Monster's dad, monster glad. Monster doesn't feel so bad. Monster unpack, monster stack. Monster slurps a squirmy snack. Monster play, monster hey. Monster grabs the toys away. That's not very nice. Monster share, monster fair. Monster has some toys to spare. Monster's room, monster zoom. Monster's cars go crash, kaboom. Monster wall, monster fall. Monster's brave, not scared at all. I don't want to be up there. Monster fun, monster run. Monster's playtime can't be done. Monster doesn't want to go. Monster whoa, monster no. Monster play, monster yay. Monster park another day. So we're going to talk about pendulums, right? And you guys have all seen pendulums, not just at the park, but probably in your house. Okay, so what is a pendulum? A pendulum is something that swings back and forth freely, usually because of gravity, usually because you held it up, and when you let go, it swings and then it goes back and forth. You've probably seen it on TV a lot when they go, watch the watch, and you're going back and forth, and they're hypnotizing you. So that would be a pendulum. You might have seen this. Okay, so when a pendulum is pulled back, it stores up the energy. When it's all the way up here, right? It's called potential energy. When it swings, when it releases and it goes back and forth, that's kinetic energy. And the time it takes to go back and forth, that's one period. Right? And sometimes people have these little things on their desks, usually with a lot of balls, right? One ball will hit the other and then the other one at the other end will go up. So you might see pendulums all around. When you go on those swinging swings, right? Those circular swings that stick out and fly out, not just the ones that go back and forth like in the playground, but those ones that go around at the fairs and the carnivals, right? When you see a wrecking ball, that's a pendulum, okay? A swing, and we have these at our parks. Some of you might even see a grandfather clock, okay? And that thing goes back and forth, right? So those are examples of pendulums. Maybe you've seen on TV where people hang from the lights on the ceiling. Don't do that, okay? Mom and dad won't like that. Grandmas won't like that, okay? But those hanging lights or chandeliers, and on movies they do that. In real life, they fall out of the ceiling and you fall down. Okay, Newton's law of motion says that something in motion will stay that way until something stops it. So we are going to do some painting with a cup. And that cup is going to keep moving. It'll change directions as we swing it, or maybe sometimes the air, the wind will blow it. Okay, gravity will stop it, or we will stop it. Okay, a pendulum is going to keep swinging until all the energy is used up. So it might swing really good if it's full. Once it's empty, it's just going to kind of hang there. Okay, it might have a faster or a shorter period depending on the length of the string. If it's a really long string, okay, or if you make it a really short string, see what happens. Okay, because we're going to give you one long string, and you could always make it a little shorter. See if it changes the curve of the picture. Okay, and these are some of the examples. Now, over here, they had a piece of paper here on the ground, and then they got it over the paper, so that's why there's not so much right there. Here, they put up 2 chairs with a pole, and all they had to do was pull the string back and let it do this in between the chairs. You can do this with water outside on a hot day, and then the design will disappear and you can do it again. So you don't have to do it with paint or do-it-yourself chalk, and I'm going to give you the recipe for that when you guys come in for your kits. But you can do it with water, and then you can, like I said, do it over and over, especially on a really hot day. So let me explain what you're going to get. You're going to get a cup, okay, with 2 holes on the sides, and I don't know if you can see the holes, right? Now, if I turn it like that, you can. So you're going to get it with 2 holes. You're going to get a really long string, okay, and you have to put that through the hole. Because Miss Patty is having a problem with that. So you might have to poke it through with a stick or something, or a pen. Okay, a pen will also poke it through. All right, and once you get it through, tie it. Now remember, you can make it a long string, which means you're going to tie it really short, really close to the end. Okay, and I double knotted it. Now I have a really long string, right? If I wanted it to be short, like that, you see how long I'd have to make? I could cut off the rest of this, right? So it depends on what you want to do. I wouldn't cut it off, but you could shorten it just by tying it differently. And then we're going to go outside and we're going to try this 2 ways. We're going to try this with water. And then we're going to try this with the recipe for do-it-yourself chalk. So that means it'll wash off. If it gets on you, it really won't stain you. I would recommend that you use food coloring. Now that might stain your clothes, so try not to get that too much on you. But I did try adding food coloring to the recipe, and it didn't really come out when we painted. It still turned out white, even though it looked like it was blue or green when I did it. It looked like it was blue or green in the cup, but it didn't look like blue or green when we painted. It still came out white. So you might want to just leave it that color. All right, so this is really, really long, right? You can see how long this is. So this is going to swing back and forth. Okay, that's a pendulum. There's also going to be a hole in the bottom. So I am not going to pour this in right now. Okay, but I have colored water. Now what you would do is you would put your finger on the bottom, make sure you hold it, okay? Block that hole, or have somebody else help you. Maybe they'll hold it and you can pour the water in, okay? Then when you're outside, you can either hold it and take your finger away, right? And it would start going like this, and it's going to leave pictures. Now you don't have to have colored water. I just did that because I'm going to add that water to my chalk as well. So regular water, and you can go back and forth. Now you can hold it like this. If you want to make it shorter, right? You can go like this. You can go back and forth. You can go around in a circle. Can you see how I'm doing that in a circle? Right? You can get a stick and you can put this on a stick. Just put the stick right through. Okay, so if this was the stick, you'd put it right through. Right? And you could hold the stick. You could put it on a broom. And you could hold the broom out there, or you could put the broom on top of two chairs, or maybe somebody can hold one end of the stick and somebody can hold the other end, and somebody else can just swing it back and forth. And then as you push it, right, it's going to go different directions. So now it's going back and forth. And then if I want to, I can kind of go this way and I can change the design, right? So we're going to take a look at what that looks like. Okay. Now we are outside and we're going to try this. I have my cup. I'm going to put my finger on the bottom so that I can hold the water in. I'm going to pour some water in. Okay. And I'm just going to hold the string for the moment. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to move all the way over here so you can see the ground. Okay. Then I'm just going to let it ring. I am trying not to get me. Now, depending on how much I put in there, and I think you guys can see the design, right? Almost have it like a flower because I went around and around. Now I could fill it up all the way and I get a lot more than that. And again, if it's water, I'm not gonna, it doesn't matter if I get wet, right? But I'm also gonna give you guys the recipe for the do-it-yourself chalk. Okay, so we got baking soda. And we're gonna put in water. And I'm gonna stir it. I just have a stick to stir it. I didn't bring my spoon outside. The bird is trying to figure out what I'm doing. Now, most of the recipes call for baking soda and cornstarch and water. And what I discovered was that made oobleck. So if you remember my Science Scout thing from several months ago, then it kind of got hard and it kind of turned into the solid part here. It just kind of sat there and you had to keep stirring it. You had to do it really fast. So I will give you that recipe, but you have to do it really fast and you have to stir it right before you do it. Otherwise, it's just going to harden up into the, it's going to kind of be like Jell-O. You still don't want to eat it, but it won't be a solid and it won't be a liquid and it won't pour out. All right, but you can see how this looks blue. And we'll see if it actually leaves a little mark. You can also see that my design back there is drying up. So again, I'm gonna put my finger on the bottom of the cup. I'm gonna pour this in. Right, and you can kind of see how this powder started sticking to the sides. All right, we're gonna go right back over my design here. Okay. Right, and again, if you want to change things, you can hold it a little shorter, right? And then you can make it longer. You can just have it go back and forth. Okay, so it's going back and forth. Now I want to go around this way. I want to make my flower. It is leaving blue marks here, so later on it will actually leave little marks. And then the rain will wash it away. Right, I still have a lot of powder left at the bottom. So I'm going to add more water because I want to kind of get that stuff out of there. I'm going to stir it, but remember I have to put my finger at the bottom here because it's got a hole at the bottom. Right, now I'm going to do a little shorter. I want to see if it does a little bit, right? And these would be called periods, back and forth, back to period. Kind of like look at my watch. Okay, and then I can go like this and see how far it'll go. You can go like that, but you're going to get wet when you do that, okay? Because it's going to splash it up. So that's our pendulum and talking about energy with a little bit of art thrown in there. Again, if you just put water in there, not the blue food coloring, but if you put water in there and not the paint, you could swirl it around and see what your designs are. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this. Have a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.